Today, guys, I'm going to bring you the top worst credit cards to get if you're trying to rebuild your credit. Welcome to Starr Knows Credit. On this channel, we talk personal and business credit and everything else that's going to help us level up and get the bag. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing and give me that like button. Go ahead and smash that so this video get pushed out to more people. And also make sure that you're leaving me a couple comments. I appreciate all the love. Let's go ahead and get into today's video. As I told you guys, I'm going to tell you what are the worst credit cards to get. Now, I narrowed it down to 5, but it's a lot more, but I done narrowed it down to the worst 5 that I have seen. Now let me go ahead and give a caveat. I'm not bashing these companies because they're business, but I'm just going to bring to my channel things that are not going to get you in more trouble. I can't promote everything and every person that is lending money because from a banking standpoint, I worked in banking for 15 years. So from my banking background, I can't just put all kind of different lenders on my channel telling you guys, okay, you could get this because it's easy. You could get this even with bad credit, when I know at the end of the day, it's going to make your credit worse because of the interest rates and all other factors that can really get you in more trouble than what you're trying to do. So you don't want to turn away from this channel today, guys, because this right here is going to be a gem, because I know some of you guys might have been looking at these credit cards because a lot of people promote them because they are tailored to people with bad credit. But do not get these cards because these cards will make your credit worse. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this list. All right, so this is not in any particular order. To me, they're all in the same category, so not in any particular order. So the first one I'm gonna start off with is First Premier Bank or Premier Bank credit card. Now this credit card right here has been around for a while. Now the reason why I say them first is because their interest rate is at 36%. Everybody that I list today are what they consider subprime lenders. So a subprime lender is somebody that will lend to somebody with a credit score between 580 and 619. So these credit card companies that I'm listing, they will lend to people with subprime credit. But when you have a credit score between 580 and 619, you are looking at paying way more money for credit than you would if your credit score was higher. So First Premier Bank or Premier Bank credit card or whatever they call themselves, they are one of the ones that I feel like they just go after people with terrible credit in order to make money off y'all. So let me break down some of their fees. Now I'm gonna give you a little history. In 2010, this same credit card interest rate was 79%. That's right, guys. 79% was their interest rate in 2010. Now we're in 2023 and their interest rate is 36%. Way better than 79, but 36% is still a horrible rate. Not only do they have a horrible interest rate if you carry a balance, but they also charge a lot of fees. So what is one of their fees? They charge you a program fee. Now you're like, what in the world is a program fee? Their program fee is anywhere from $55 to $95. So depending on what your credit worthiness is. Now, they won't give you a limit no higher than $700. So let's do some numbers on this. If the minimum they'll give you is a $200 credit line and the max they'll give you is a $700 credit line. Now, why would this hurt your credit score? Because off the top, if they gave you the low 200 credit score, right? Off the top, their program fee is coming off that card. So that means that anywhere from $55 to $95 is going to come off that card automatic, and you haven't spent not one dime. So automatically, if you got a $200 line of credit, $200 credit card, and you're supposed to keep your credit card utilization under 30%, guess what? Before you can even activate this card good, you are already either over or close to being over. the utilization. Because if you have a $200 limit, okay, let's do the math. $200 limit times that by 30%, that's only $60. That's only $60, right? So if they start off with a $55 program fee, okay, this is going to drop your score before you even get the card, because it's 55 is the minimum and 60 is right there at 30%. Okay, so you got this automatically on your card, depending on your credit worthiness. So that letting you know, depending on where your credit falls at. So if you at the 580, you might be paying $125 annual fee. That's coming off the top as well. So do the math. You got anywhere from $50 to $125 that's coming off this $200 limit, which means that you're going to owe them as soon as you get the card because of the fees, the program fees, and the annual fees. You haven't spent anything on this card. Nothing. You have spent nothing on this card. You getting a card in the mail that already has a bill. That's a terrible card. That's a terrible card, because that card right there is going to automatically put you over the utilization if you're not able to pay that card right back off. If you're not able to pay those fees that they just gave you for no reason other than because your credit bad, so they got these outrageous fees. If you don't have the money to pay this annual fee off and this program fee off immediately, as soon as you get the card, you got to pay this right back off. Your utilization is going to be in the toilet. Your credit score is going to drop even further than where it already is. That's what's going to happen. Instead of it building it up, which this card is supposed to be a credit builder card, it's going to drop your score right back down. They are trying to get you already in trouble. Now let's look at if they gave you the $700 one. So what is 700 times 30%? Well, that's $210, but look at the fees. The fees is anywhere from $125 to $95. So that's $220. If you got the high end of the program fee, $95, if you got the high end of the annual fee, $125, that's $220. I just told you on $700 to be under 30% utilization is $210. So you're already over it. It's just simple math, guys. You already over it. Soon as you get this card. So if they give you a card with a $200 credit line, you're over the limit when you get the card as well. If that's all they give you is $200, because the fees is $220 if they make you pay the high end of their fees, $95 and $125. So don't just be getting cards just because your credit is bad. You got to look at the numbers. If you do carry a balance, you're going to pay at 36% on this card. 36%. If you're not able to pay this card off every time they decide they want to throw a fee on you, you're going to be paying 30%, 36% interest rate every time. Next one, these are two different cards, but they're owned by the same company. This is the Destiny card and the Milestone card. Now, these cards are owned by the same company. Now, here's the thing. When you go on Destiny and Milestone's website, right, they don't even have that information disclosed as far as what their fees are, what they charge, what their interest rate. They don't have any of that on there. Now that right there is red flag number one, because it's a thing called truth in lending. You're supposed to know what you're going to pay up front before you even go along with the application. So I know that from working in banking. There's something called truth in lending. So therefore, you should know what the interest rate is on these cards before you even apply, right? You're supposed to know whatever fees that they may have before you apply. So when you go to a website that is not showing you their fees, but letting you apply now, right? I went on that question and answers, I went on that part of their tab to see, okay, are you answering these questions? Not one time did you answer, what are your rates? What are your fees? You never once answered those questions in your FAQ. You never once asked that. So I'm like, okay, what are you hiding? You're hiding behind high butt fees. That's what it is. Okay. Because them too, their interest rate is 35.99. So they just one little measly point from being at 36 like Premier Bank is. One little measly point, okay, from being at 36%. So they're 35.99. Woohoo, I'm saving some money. No, you're not. You're not saving anything. These kind of credit cards is what will keep you in debt, okay? And this credit card, just like the other one, has program fees and also an annual fee. Same thing with low limits, okay? And you're trying to build. They are trying to get money out of you because of your credit score being low. What's the next one on my list? Now, this one right here is called Total Card. This is the Total Card Visa, okay? Same thing, 35.99 interest rate on this Total Visa card, okay? Same thing, $95 program fee. This is a one-time fee, and an annual fee of $75 the first year, and after that, $48 annually. Also, another low limit card. So if you're not looking at what these terms and agreements, terms and conditions are on these cards, that's how they're getting you. You're just wanting to get approved. Stop just wanting to get approved and actually look at these numbers, because if you can't pay these cards off, this is the money that is going to be coming out of your pocket that could be doing something else with that money other than paying these credit card companies with these outrageous fees, money that you could be using for something else. You really could. You could be using that money for something else that's going to help you financially than harm you financially, okay? So I've seen this one, Credit One Bank. Now, this is not to be confused with Capital, what the name of that credit card is? Capital One, I'm sorry. This is not to be confused with Capital One. This is Credit One Bank. Credit One Bank. Now, they have a platinum visa for rebuilding credit as well. Now, you probably have seen these. These people have actually been around longer than Capital One, but this is Credit One. They logo and everything looks very similar to Capital One. Same thing, guys. Now, their interest rate is 28.99. All right. They have an annual fee of $75 the first year. And then after that, $99 annual fee that is billed at $8.25 per month. Okay. That is high. And just because they're thinking they're going to give you this 1% cash back rewards on eligible purchases and that your credit line increase opportunities and all that stuff, this is a predatory card as well. Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you a very low limit. $300. That's probably what they're gonna give you. They might give you $500 if they feeling pretty good about you. They might give you $500. But either way, none of these cards is giving you no $1,000 limit, and they're gonna tack on all these fees before you even get the card. That's why I'm on this channel today to talk about this, because the clients that I have worked with, I have seen this on some of their credit. And they wonder why their credit is not growing up, because these little small limit cards are keeping your credit score down. They are keeping your credit score down. It's not going to rise, because these cards right here, you can barely spend on them. And if you don't know the difference between your due date and your statement date, this is keeping your credit utilization in the trash. Maxing these cards out is keeping your utilization in the trash, and it's also making you a higher risk. Your FICO score should be called a risk score, because that's what it is. It's calculating how risky you are, how risky this lender is doing business with you. That's what it is. So when you got a maxed out card that only got a $200 limit on it or a $500 limit, you look like you can't manage your money. But if you got a card that give you a $500 limit that's automatically taking $220 off of it, and you ain't even spent anything for that $220 they just took off, it looks bad on you, because that's already over the 30%. Even if you got a $500 limit, if you got the $700 limit, it's still over. That's what I'm saying. These cards I cannot promote. I will not promote on my channel. Any type of lending that is predatory to my channel subscribers, I'm not bringing it to y'all just because it's easy to get. No, because you're throwing your money away, and that money could be very well used on something else. So let me tell you what those something else is. If you're paying $220 off the top for annual fees and program fees, you might as well get you a secured credit card. You might well get you a secured credit card with that same money, because that's all you're doing. You're just giving them $200 for nothing. You can take that same money and get you a secured credit card with a credit union or with a bank. Now, I preach banking relationships because that's where I come from. That's my background, as I've said before. But I'm telling you guys, the best thing you could do is form a relationship with your bank. Who gets your money every month? If it's Bank of America, Wells Fargo, your local credit union, Navy Fed, Penn Fed, I don't care who it is. That's who you're supposed to be doing all your business with and building a relationship with them. Using their products and their services, using their debit card, using everything that you can use with them that's not going to cost you any money. That's how you start the relationship. Direct deposit. So if this credit union has secured credit cards, then that's who you want to do business with. You don't want to get into a debt trap with some of these other lenders that got these outrageous interest rates. Just outrageous, and other fees. They are fee happy, and they're preying on you for having subprime credit, and that's not fair. And I'm not going to tolerate it on my channel, so you ain't gonna never hear me talk positive about them. I don't, business is business. I understand people trying to make money, but you should not try to make money off of people that don't know any better. You know what I'm saying? Don't know any better about their finances to know that this is not a good option for you. All right. Another thing, if you're gonna be using that $200, you don't even have to get a secured credit card. You could get a secured loan with that kind of money, a pledge loan. I got a video on my channel about doing a pledge loan with Navy Fed, but a bunch of credit unions, a bunch of banks have pledge loans or share secured loans or CD secured loans. Those are ways that you can start rebuilding your credit without paying more for the credit, because your credit might be bad. You're paying more for credit because your credit is bad. When you go to these institutions and you use your own money, you're going to get a better rate. Anywhere from 3%. If it's a credit card, it may be 18%, but that's usually the highest it'll go on a credit union. It's 18%. That's usually per capita. Now, might be some other exceptions, but just from my experience, 18% is usually the highest. Now, none of that matters if you don't carry a balance, but if you do have to carry a balance, that's when you need to know what these interest rates are, because this is how much this money is going to cost you. Okay, you don't want to go out and buy $100 pocketbook that you're gonna wind up paying $500 for with all of daggone fees and all those daggone high interest rates. Okay, you might well have paid cash for it, because if you're going to be paying for it over time with high interest, you're going to pay for that bag and several other ones. Okay, so this is just letting you know how to be more savvy with your finances and not just be happy about getting approved. Know the numbers, do the numbers, look at these things before. Oh, just don't be happy. Okay, I got approved for this card. I got approved. What's the fine print? What's the fine print, guys? You got to look at the fine print. You can't just be happy about getting the approval. You got to look at the fine print and how much this debt is going to cost you. Okay, how long is you gonna have to be in this? So if you get these cards with these annual fees, that means every year you have this card, you got an annual fee with it. If you're gonna have an annual fee, you need to at least be getting something for that. Okay, you need to at least be getting something for that. So if you got a American Express Platinum card that has an annual fee of $695, but guess what? All the credits, if you use all their different credits, it actually equals more than what their annual fee is. See, it's supposed to be outweighed. The annual fee is supposed to be outweighed with the perks. These cards don't do that. These cards don't outweigh, because it's all about being on the ones that already down with their credit. They're trying to just continue to kick you down. So I don't want to continue on my soapbox, but you know how I am. I just got to bring y'all the truth. I can't keep seeing y'all out here doing wrong out here and just, just making it worse on you. Got anything from this video? If you ever apply for any of these cars or know anybody that got these cars, or maybe you still got one of these cars, leave me a comment and let me know what you think on this video. Also, don't forget that the Credit Ready program, it's not too late for y'all to enroll. You can go on my website at starrknowscredit.com and you can click on the Credit Ready course program tab and you can get more information from there. And just let me know, guys, how are y'all doing with y'all's credit? Okay, how are y'all doing with y'all credit? Because it's more than just getting approved. You got to have more knowledge up behind just getting approved. Okay, all right, guys, I'm gonna get off of here. I love you. Thank you so much. Peace, peace, peace.